Welcome to the Sod Cemetery in its 60th season. It celebrates Seminole wins against the crowd and against the odds when no one gave FSU much of a chance. When you're near Doak Campbell, we hope you'll drop by and visit the cemetery. You can press the button and you can hear from former Seminole players who tell you about their days in bringing home the sod for victory and for burial. Sod Talk, connecting Seminole fans with Seminole legends. Today, two-time Super Bowl champion Seminole Bryant McFadden talks with our Sod Talk legend, national champion, consensus All-American, and new FSU Hall of Famer, Snoop Minnis. Hello, B-Mac.
Thanks, Doug, and welcome to Sod Talk. Snoop, thank you for joining us. How you feeling? How you doing?
Good to be on with you, baby. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing great. It's a great day to be alive. And with that being said, let's take advantage of it. Let's go back to the beginning, Snoop, for you. Snoop, in 1996 at Miami Northwestern High, shout out to the Bulls, you were the most highly recruited wide receiver in Florida, in the state of Florida. Why did you choose the Seminoles?
I chose Florida State because I wanted to win the national championship. That's one of the main reasons. But when I took my visit to Florida State, it was a family atmosphere. It was a family vibe. You know, I just felt so comfortable, you know, and just being up there, you know, I just felt like this was the place for me, you know, and till today, you know, I always say to myself, man, I made the right decision.
And with that being said, coming to Florida State, most people only known you as Snoop. Tell us, how did you get that nickname?
My mom, she said I was always snooping around when I was a kid, getting into everything, B-Mac. So she gave me the name Snoop. So I was always snooping around, getting into everything.
And right now, it's safe to say everyone you encounter calls you Snoop, huh?
Everybody. Don't nobody call me Marvin. Somebody call me Marvin, I might not answer.
Exactly. And with that being said, Snoop, when you arrived at Florida State, your daily wide receiver competition was essentially like an NFL camp. Andre Cooper, Lavernius Coles, Ron Dugans, E.G. Green, and Peter Ward. What was it like to compete against so many talented guys every day in practice?
It was great, B-Mac. It made me better. And that was one of the reasons I went to Florida State. When I first went up for my visit, Coach showed me the the depth chart and told me who I was going to be competing against or whatnot. You know, and showed me the lineup. You know, Andre Cooper, E.G. Green. They was both just coming off back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons in '95. And we had Peter Ward already there. We had Randy Moss there at the time, and Wayne Messerman and a couple more guys. But I always embraced competition. You know, I never strayed away from competition. So I didn't mind. You know, I knew it would make me better, you know, competing against those guys, you know. And that's what happened. You know, I learned a lot from those guys, you know, watching what E.G. did, watching what Pete did, you know, and adding that to my game. It made me a better receiver.
And talking about being a better receiver, you know, receivers are only as good as their quarterbacks. And for you, you were on the receiving end of a big, strong, older Heisman Trophy quarterback in Chris Weinke. What was it like to play with Chris Weinke?
It was great because Weinke was smart. You know, Weinke was smart. Weinke was quarterback. He was going to get the ball to you as soon as you got out your breaks. You know, he was very accurate, you know. So, you know, getting that ball right out of your breaks, you know, as a DB, how important that is. You know, it's hard for y'all to get on it, you know. So that was one of the main things. And then me and Weinke, our chemistry, you know, was great. You know, Weinke knew what I was going to do before I even did it, you know, and the same thing with him, you know. So, like, if we had, like, a bench route, you know, and we had to adjust it, he already knew if I was going to take it inside or out. You know, he had the ball right there as soon as I came out of my break. So that was very important, you know, and it helped me, you know, get have the success that I had.
Yeah. So your junior year was a huge year, not just for you as an individual, but of course the entire team. And one play I would like to highlight in your junior year, 27-yard touchdown, a key touchdown reception at Florida in Gainesville, playing against the Gators to beat the Gators. And that ultimately sent you guys on to the national championship game against Virginia Tech. But for you, having that huge play in that ball game, what was it like for you to beat Florida, but beat them in Gainesville?
Man, it was great, man. I can't explain the feeling. As soon as I got to the sideline, Peter Ward was like, boy, Snoop, that's going to put you on the map right there, boy. That's going to put you on the map. I just did the interview the other day, and I was asked what's my favorite touchdown. Was it the 98-yarder? And I mentioned it was my most memorable. The 98-yarder was my most memorable. But I would say that touchdown is my favorite touchdown because of the magnitude, the impact of it. It was actually wound up being the go-ahead game-winning score touchdown, to take us to the national championship.
And it's funny. It's funny you mentioned that 98. That's basically a segue into my next question, because your senior year, I mean, you kicked down the doors. Your senior year, which was my true freshman year, you were unstoppable. The connection, the chemistry that you had with your quarterback, Chris Weinke, was well documented. You had 63 catches for over 1,300 yards and 11 touchdowns. But we all remember that night game against Clemson. If I'm not mistaken, Snoop, correct me if I'm wrong. Clearly, we were top 5, and I think Clemson was top 5 as well, if I'm not mistaken.
I think they was number 10.
They came in with a lot of hype.
They did.
Put it like that. They came in the dope camp with a lot of hype. And the infamous play action pass by Chris Weinke was probably one of the more well-executed play actions I've ever seen. Yeah. And guess who was on the end of that receiving pass? No other than Snoop. Tell us about that play. And did you believe you had an opportunity to go the length of the football field when you heard that play was called?
Not when it was called, but when it was executed, I did. All right. First, to start off, that play was never practiced. We never practiced that play on the field. It was one of Coach Bowden's gym plays. Coach had gym plays where we only did walkthroughs inside, and that was one of them. So we just walked through the play first and foremost, and I mean everybody executed to perfection. The line blocked down and sold it like it was a run. Jeff Chaney came in with a handoff, and sold it, tucked in like it was a run. Chris Weinke made the most beautiful play action you could make.
Yes.
Like he still like the ball was gone. And my job was they sent me in motion. Once you come in motion on the goal line formation, that's most of the time, 99% of the time is going to be a run. So it's a great play call first by Coach Bowden and Coach Rick. When I saw the safety was down, B-Mac, you know what I'm saying? They selling out for the run. When I came in motion, that's when I knew it was over. I was like, oh, this is it. All I had to do was my job and crack down on the safety and, block down like I'm selling it like it's a run. So that's what I did. I went and I sold him and hit him like it was a run, slipped off him, wide open, bro. 98 yards later.
Man, listen. When I saw that happen, I'm like, oh, it's a wrap. This is going to be it wasn't just a wrap for that particular game. I'm like, this is a wrap for the season. This is a special year. That might have been the loudest. I don't know. It's kind of hard to rank the loudest I heard Doak Campbell get. Yeah. That was one of the loudest I heard the crowd, because you took it 99 yards, man, and didn't look back. And we just bulldozed the Clemson Tigers.
Yeah.
The way
in the moment, you really don't hear the crowd. You be in the zone.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You're a baller. You're in the zone. But now that my career is over and I go back and watch it, man, that crowd was ecstatic, bro.
Yeah.
It was so loud in there. It was crazy, man. But that I never realized how first of all, I never realized that I had the record for the longest touchdown, because, we always played the game to win. We never really was about them stats. I didn't know until after my career was over, but to go back and watch it now and hear how loud the crowd was, man, it was crazy, bro.
Yeah. And throughout your career at Florida State, you were a part of outstanding individual plays and team efforts. But what did it mean to you to win a national championship with the Seminoles?
It meant everything, because that's why I went to Florida State. I went to Florida State to do my job, make plays and help them win the championship, because that's all I've always been about, coming up from Miami, playing in Pop won the ball on the way to Miami Northwestern, us winning the state championship. It was always in me to win championships. That's why I played the game for. So to do that, accomplish that feat, what I set out to, as a team, it was a great feeling, man.
Yeah. And also this fall, you were inducted in the FSU Athletics Hall of Fame. What did that mean to you?
Man, it gets no bigger than that, bro. B-Mac, I never played the game for individual accolades. I always played it for team goals, but to get recognized and honored, for your individual accomplishment. I mean, it's a blessing, man. It's a great feeling. I got they called me the day before and told me, Snoop, answer all 850 phone calls for the next 24 to 36 hours, even if you don't know the number, right?
Yeah.
I was like, cool, because, whatever Florida State asks, I'm there, I'm doing it. So I was like, cool. So I hung up the phone, and as the day went by, I was thinking like, what's that about? What they doing, you know? So then I was like, am I about to be in the Hall of Fame? You know, so I told my son, I was like, son, Florida State called me and told me to answer all phone calls for the next 24 to 36 hours from 8:50 on. You think I'm about to be in the Hall of Fame? So he was like, I don't know, Daddy, maybe, you know. And the next day, Coach Novell, he called me the next morning, and we was chopping it up because you know I talked to coach a lot. So I still ain't think nothing of it, you know. So we were just talking, you know. He asked about my family, I asked about his, you know, and then he just broke it to me, man, and told me, congratulations, you've been inducted into Florida State Hall of Fame, man.
That's
When
great.
I tell you, I got so emotional, man. I couldn't hold back, bro. I couldn't hold back tears, man.
I mean that's something that you will forever be a part of.
Yes.
Your legacy will forever be intact when it comes
Yes.
to college athletics, when it comes to Florida State. So well deserved, I can tell you that much. Well deserved. When I heard it, I'm like, yes, sir, right on time. They hit the target with that one.
Thank you, my brother. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. Yeah.
And with that being said, Snoop, you've done so many marvelous things when you were there in Tallahassee. But if you can give me your favorite memory at Florida State, what would that memory be?
Winning the national championship. I would never forget that feeling, man. Us, the clock going to zero, you know, and us finally doing it, you know, because in '96, you know, we got to the national championship. We lost to Florida.
Mm-hmm.
You know, '97, you know, we was close. We lost on the last play with at Florida to stop us from going to the national championship. And then '98, you know, unfortunately, Winky got hurt. You know, we lost to Tennessee in the national championship. So to finally get over that hump, man, I mean, that was a great feeling, man. I mean, words I can't explain it, B-Mac. You know, it was so much joy, man. You know, walking up that field as a champion, man. Because we put in that work. You know how hard we work. You know, before the season, during the season. You know, and finally accomplish our goal. What we set out before the season started. It was a great feeling, man.
Well, Snoop, man, you've been loyal to Florida State for a long, long time, even before you signed on to be with the Seminoles, and you're still loyal and you're still a great Seminole. Man, thank you for joining us here for this episode of Sod Talk. Hall of Famer, Snoop Minnis. Thank you.
Thank you for having me, man. I'm so proud of you and all your accomplishments, man, and what you're doing in the media, man. Phil, whenever you need me, you just reach out, man. I'm here for you, my brother.
I appreciate it, Snoop. Thank you.
Much love. And go Noles.
Go Noles.
Right.